Well, my parents were Polish Jewish citizens, and when war broke out and the Nazis marched into Poland and started rounding up the Jews and ghettoizing the Jews, eventually that led to Liquidation Day, and on that day they were assigned to different camps. And after my father's town was largely liquidated, along the way, he had met my mother, and they, fortunately, through various means and ways and adventures, they did survive that Holocaust. My dad never spoke about the war, never spoke about his experiences, but my mother was all too willing to talk about her experiences. And she would tell us these stories, I think, without realizing was scaring the Jesus out of us. So it became kind of normal. So you had these, nightmares or daydreams about, filled with anger for what they had gone through. So how did that shape me? It's really hard to say. I was obviously very sensitive to anti-Semitism, and I experienced quite a lot of it growing up. So you become wary, I think, as a person, like any, minority that feels prejudice against them or some bias against them. But I spent a lot of my early teens, mid-teens, escaping from those stories. I think being a musician in a way was a reaction to a household full of tales like that. I think we're living in a terrible moment for the Jewish people because of what transpired in the Middle East, and that has set ablaze a new wave of anti-Semitism around the world. And we are just always come up with a period where, history begins to feel like it's repeating itself. So I think the best way to combat that, from my perspective, is to remind people what happens when fascism gets out of control, and whether it's my particular minority that suffers at the hands of that or some other minority. Fascists love to have a scapegoat. So I don't think any minority is immune from that kind of treatment if the political circumstances suit the people in power. So that's why I said that. I feel, especially since my mom is no longer with us, I feel I owe it to her and to all those that died in the Holocaust to keep the flame burning as an object lesson, not just for Jewish people, because Jewish people are aware of it, just for, there are the things I read, and I'm sure everybody reads about, younger generations that don't even believe it occurred.